welcome back to In My Teens, where we talk about the struggles you have in your teens. I'm traveling right now, as you can probably tell, because that's not my topic. I'm in a park in Williamsburg, in New York. If you want to see the video where I'm traveling, it's gonna be out. It's gonna take some time because I'm still here, still editing it. But that's not what this podcast episode is about. While I spent some time here, I thought a lot, and I think I got through my math block that I had for almost half a year now. And I'm gonna tell you how I did that, because it is really hard to do that, especially if like so much change is happening in your life, and sometimes even not, because you're so stuck into your routines and your thoughts. First thing is writing or journaling. Just write it out loud. Just don't care about what you're writing about. Like, it could be just like writing down what you ate for the day, or what you saw, what you did at work, what you did in school. It doesn't matter. Just write something down. Because through that, especially for me, I can organize my thoughts. I can see like, okay, what are to-dos that I still like, that are really urgent, that I really need to do, and what are things that I can like wait 1 or 2 weeks, or even a month, or even a year sometimes. And because of that, I can like structure my stuff, like for example, like just doing a brain dump. And with that, you can really easily just get through your mental block if you do that time and time again. Like, I can't tell you how many brain dumps I have in this journal, because there are so many. Because I always write like stuff down that I need to do, stuff that I'm thinking about. It doesn't matter, because writing helps so much. Second thing, that's probably not for all people, but for me, it is drawing. When I was really young, like I think up until I was 13, so like 5 years ago, I was a really crafty person. I drew a lot, other stuff, but I stopped because I didn't really have much time, and I was like, hey, I should only do things in the time that I have that I'm really good at. And because of that, I stopped drawing. And now, like, I kind of did it sometimes again, but not that much. But here, I started drawing again, kind of like not really drawing, but like sketching and all stuff. And I think one thing that I really loved about bullet journaling is because I doodled so much and I drew so much. And because of that, it helped me a lot with like organizing my thoughts and organizing my stuff. So yeah, here I just do what inspired me, what came into my mind. Like literally I was just walking around Manhattan and drew stuff. That like the Empire State Building, some buildings, some fire escapes, those just really random stuff. That inspired me in some form of way. It didn't really matter like if it is for some projects that I'm working on, or is it for, I don't know, like videos or something like that. It was just like, I saw something that I liked and I was like, hey, let me catch that, I'm gonna draw that. And it helped me so much with getting through my mental block. Literally I was drawing, and then I came up with the script kind of this video, because it's like, hey, I think I finally got through it. Like, I know I can really think openly now, after I did a lot of journaling. But you know, it really helps, like especially if you are like an arty person, or like a creative person, and you're really stuck. Just go back to basics. How you start, like this can be like not, doesn't have to be drawing for you. It could be like writing music, writing, all these different things. Like I'm you know, just being creative in some form of way and not judging how it looks. Like I had like 2 rules why I drew, and that was like more like free like drawing what inspires me in any form of way, and then using no eraser, because then you're just getting just gonna be a perfectionist and trying to make things right, especially if you are a perfectionist, and I'm one of them. And I didn't care how it looked. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm drawing the Empire State Building or whatever. I don't, like, I will draw it, and if at the end it looks completely not like what I wanted it to look like, that's okay. That's no problem. But I drew something, and that's the goal. So now we came to number 3. It is a change of environment, or like scenery. And you don't have to be so dramatic as I am and flying to the other side of the ocean, and you don't even have to travel, but like changing the environment of routines and changing like your environment in general. Like sometimes even like rearranging your room, that's what I did a lot of times, especially in COVID when you couldn't really travel and go out, because it helps so freaking much. Like I was talking with my boyfriend today about traveling and why it is so good, because it's like, hey, I thought about the future and I thought I got through a lot of stuff, and he was like, yeah, there's too, because you go out, I feel like structured routines that sometimes aren't healthy, especially if you have a mental block. And yeah, it just helps you so much to just get through it because you can kind of start a new routine when you are somewhere else. Yeah, that's kind of what I did here. So okay, 4th thing is new music and new playlists. I don't know, but for me, like, music holds a lot of memories. Like, I listen to songs that I started listening in like 5 years ago, and I still remember like the times when I listened, how I felt and all that stuff. So if you are in a mental block and you think like, oh my gosh, I can't get out of these routines, I can't get out of these things, then try new music and new playlists and stuff, because it helps so much. Like, I can link down below one, like, the playlist that I made now. Just has 2 songs right now, but I'm gonna put more in. It's called like I Stopped Running Away From My Problems, because that's what I did a lot, and that was like kind of my mental block. But yeah, and also like not only like new music, but also like new podcasts, maybe new audiobooks, new books, all this stuff. Like, it does, like, you can decide what, like, new entertainment kind of. So maybe trying a new series, or I don't know, all these things. 5th thing, that's one of the biggest things I think, is spend time alone. Yeah, it is so important to spend time alone. You don't have to be like the person that always spends time alone. It can be just like 30 minutes a day, or 1 hour a day, or like 5 minutes. It doesn't matter like how much time you have for it, but you can get through so much when you spend time alone. For me especially, I spent a lot of time with my boyfriend in the last few months, because we were done with high school. We had a lot of time. Before that we had a really stressful time, so we didn't see each other that much sometimes, and we just really used every single second we had. We spent time together, and it was beautiful. It was such a good time, and it was so helpful. But I think that even if you are in a really healthy relationship, as I am right now, you still sometimes need time for yourself to structure your thoughts and to like get through things that you just need to think about. And I can distract myself really easily with like problems from other people. So yeah, this trip was really good because I'm traveling alone. And like, yes, I live in a hostel, like I'm staying in a hostel, like there are people that I can talk with, but still, I still spend like majority of my day alone, just walking through the city and thinking of stuff. Because if you spend time alone, you can't really distract yourself that much. You can still do that. I'm gonna talk about that later, but it is a little bit harder. And like for me right now, like the time difference are 6 hours, so that means when I wake up, like almost half of their day is most of the time already gone. And like for me, especially like the night time, like how it is right now, it's like 7 p.m. So that means like all my friends are asleep. That means I don't have anything to distract me, like people, except like, you know, so like social media and stuff. But that means I have to spend time alone and think through stuff. Yeah, but now we come to the most important thing that helped me the most, is spending time with your own thoughts. I know it sounds like the worst thing you can do. I understand that I am the person that always plays music, that always listens to a podcast, that always watching a show, that's always watching anything on YouTube. I am the person. I, like, literally before I couldn't even study without anything playing in the background because I just had so many thoughts running through my head all the time. And I'm still not good at it. I still try to distract myself every single time because I find it really hard to not distract myself because I'm not used to just not distracting myself and being distraction-free. So yeah, that means no music, no social media, not watching anything, not listening to anything, no audiobooks, no podcasts. And it's so hard. It is so hard. I can tell you it gets a little bit easier the more you do it, but still, like I've been doing it a lot since I've come here, but it is still, every single time I'm like, hey, I should pop Charlie, probably I should like spend some time with my own thoughts. I'm always like, nope, not gonna do it. And I always do it when like my AirPods die, because then I have to wait until they charge, so that's like forced time. And it is so hard, especially if you haven't done that in a long time. And you learn so much about yourself. Like I learned a lot. Like I'm really struggling with like my future plans and what I'm gonna do next year until uni starts, and like all this stuff, like how my life will look like in like 5 years, 4 years, and 1 year. Because before, it was always really clear because I was going to school. But now, I have control over my entire life. Like I can decide if I even want to go to university or not. Like I can decide what I want to do. And that gave me so much stress and so much anxiety that I was like, I'm not gonna think about it. I'm just gonna distract myself the whole time. And when I stopped doing that on this trip, a lot came clear to me. Yes, it took a long time. Like I've been here for a week now, and yeah, I've done a lot of reflecting. Like you can think really clearly if you spend time alone with your own thoughts. like the best way to like do brain dump, to write, to draw, is to not distract yourself. Because when you distract yourself, you kind of stop yourself from growing as a person, and because you don't use all your brain power to like get through things. And because of that, it is really, really important to like spend time without music. Also, it's a little bit of a dopamine detox, but I'm not gonna talk about it here because I haven't done it and I'm not sure how I like it. Like, the idea is good, but you know. So yeah, that is just, I'm still really bad at it, and I'm gonna tell you more about how it will be in the next like when I get home and all this stuff. But I can tell you, because I've spent time with my own voice, I have almost a completely clear vision how my next year was gonna look like. And before, I didn't even know what I was doing next month. So maybe that will motivate you. Like literally, if you only take one thing out of this podcast, out of this episode, of this video, is to stop distracting yourself and just sit down and be with your thoughts. You don't have to write it, you don't have to draw it, you don't have to do anything with it. Just sit down and listen to your thoughts. It's gonna be helpful. There are gonna be a lot of toxic and unhealthy thoughts probably, and there are gonna be a lot of things like, oh, I should have done that, I should have done that, I should have done that, or like and things like I would love to do that, I would love to do that, and love to do that and that. It's really helpful to write these things down, but if that's not you, I understand. Like there are people that are not the person that write everything down. It's just how I get through all this stuff. And if you just, you don't even need the goal to be like, hey, I want to figure out my life. This don't have to be a goal. You can just, your goal can just be like, hey, I want to go through this. I want to live a life where I don't dread waking up every single day. And that's like the life I want to create. So my journal prompts for this episode is to do a breakdown with every single thing that comes to your mind. Maybe you're gonna sit there for 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, or you're gonna sit there for 1 or 2 hours. It completely depends. And the thing that is really, really big, and it's really a journal prompt, is what is your biggest fear right now, and what is the biggest fear in your whole life. And if you figure that out, most of the time your life will be a lot better, because you will know what you need to start working on and what not. And maybe you feel like being judged by others, or not achieving your full potential, or not having the means to like start a family, and you know, there are different things that can be your goals or your biggest fear. Like, it doesn't have to be money related or success related or whatever, it just can be anything. But if you figure it out, you can find a way to conquer that fear and live your life in the way you want to live it, without being at the end of your life and be like, hey, actually I didn't live the life I wanted to live. And that's such a good thing to know. And like, maybe that means that you're gonna change your whole life, and that you're gonna, I don't know, like for example right now, like I'm traveling alone the other side of the ocean. I will probably spend the next year traveling, and I never thought that would be my life like 2 years ago. I would never be like KAP. That's how my life would look like after I graduated from high school. And maybe that is sometimes the best thing that can happen. And unexpected things. Yeah, but that's like my things, how I got through this mental block. So if you really like this, I hope you give a like and comment down below your tips and tricks if you have any, because I will probably need them in the future, I'm gonna be honest. And yeah, I will see you next week, and comment down below if you have anything that I should talk about that you really want to be in this podcast. So I will see you next week.